this is Jim McKenzie, interim minister from First Congregational Church in Port Washington, along with Reverend Don Niederfrank, best buddy a minister could ever have. We have been providing Worship in the Gap, a worship experience once a week for members of First Congregational Church. And we just completed one, our first one, but we're sitting here, same shirts that we had on for the earlier broadcast, and we're simply going to have a discussion because I think we differ on something about baptism. Yes, a little bit. We just had a baptism in the 10 o'clock service, and it's the first one. This is what, March? And I started in November. This was the first baptism that we've had since I've been here. It was a lot of fun. But you and I had a little discussion about baptism, words to be used, liturgy, and that sort of thing.
Right. Jim and I differ. I'm very much a traditionalist, even though I'm very liberal in my understanding, and so in the United Church of Christ there's a great deal of freedom, of autonomy.
Yes.
And so Jim and I were discussing the formula, the words by which children or adults are baptized,
right,
when we do it. And
right, we go through the whole baptismal liturgy. We may ask the parents if we're baptizing a child, infant, you know, is it your intention to raise this child in the Christian tradition, and will you love this child, and all these different things. But then when we get down to the actual baptizing,
right,
what do we say? What is required or not? And what is the paradigm? You have a paradigm you use.
The United Church of Christ in its allowing of autonomy, it extends to churches and to clergy, and it's an issue that has been a bit of irritant for me over the years, that UCC clergy are comfortable saying whatever they want at baptisms. I baptize you in the name of the, even to say not even the name of, but I baptize you in the name of the Creator, the Redeemer, and and the Spirit, or the Sustainer.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
I know, and my issue with...
It's better than Harry Potter.
Slightly. My issue with that is that baptism and communion are sacraments that are given and that are entrusted to us, to clergy, by the larger church. We don't get to come up with our own. We take a vow at ordination that we will practice our calling in good order, in the faith and order of the United Church of Christ, and that we receive baptism as being this. We receive communion as being this, and it's surprising how many clergy don't understand what's necessary for baptism, and that what's necessary for baptism, as the church has understood it for 20 centuries, is water, and the Trinitarian formula of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, however we might present that, and
yes,
and
that's where we differ.
And an affirmation of faith with from either the person being baptized or those surrounding. And my issue has always been with Creator, Sustainer, or Creator, Redeemer, Sustainer, which I jokingly said to Jim is more of a job description of God rather than the Trinitarian formula.
That was pretty good, by the way. I like that job description.
Cute.
But see, I differ with you because I don't think that when we talk about sacrament, it sounded like you were wanting to emphasize this with a capital S in a very serious tone, and that it should never be messed with. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, where I don't put that serious tone to it. I'm more interested in what the spirit of it says, that we are to baptize, that is to make new disciples, to bring people into the faith with an eye towards living life fully. And so, for example, Don, where I would say, as I did this morning with this little baby, I baptize you now in the name of God, the Creator, who gives, let me put it this way, what I intended to say was, I baptize you now in the name of God, who gives you life, in the name of the Son, who gave His life for you, and in the name of the Spirit, whose life shall be lived in you forever and ever. That's a Trinitarian paradigm.
Yeah.
But it's not exactly like Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Right.
I mean, there's lots of things, Don, that they did 2,000 years ago that we do a little differently, although it may be the heart of the matter is still there.
Right. And I liked your baptism this morning. I loved that it was.
I'm sorry, you what did?
I liked your baptism.
You
this
did.
morning. I did.
Okay.
I did. I thought it was. I like your style. I thought it was warm. It was friendly. It was not. It was. I will say this. It was a better baptism than I would have done reading out of the book of worship.
I could never do that.
I know. It's not your thing.
It doesn't allow for the Spirit for me.
Right.
I think you do some fabulous readings. And you may lean more towards that style. But that's what I'm saying. You have a style, I have a style, all God's children got style.
Right.
But when it comes to the baptism, for me, the point is, did you capture the heart of it? Did you capture the fact that it's a sacrament, that it's an outward sign of an inward grace? And I think whichever style, you and I would be together on the heart of it, but I don't want to put the serious S about we have to do it out of the book.
Right.
You see, this is the thing about theology.
Yeah.
This is the thing. And I know you to be a guy of great spirit and great freedom. And I'm working towards it. But I got too much compulsivity in me. I got to do it right by the book, although I don't want to do this one by the book.
Right.
But, it's always good. And this is the thing about worship in the gap. While we're scattered about to our homes and other places right now, and we don't gather just in the church on Sunday, there's a fresh and new way. We have to take a look at how we do church. And I always welcome that. I think that's a good thing. And to do that with baptism, I think, is a welcome thing for me as well.
I always have a story.
Yeah.
So years ago, when I was young and I knew everything, I was arguing with Homer Perry, an older, just a dear heart, an older pastor. We were in Iowa, and it was a clergy gathering. And Homer and I were arguing about angels.
Yeah.
Hammer and tongs, we were going at it.
Okay.
And I knew I was right. And they announced lunch.
Uh-oh.
And Homer stopped and looked at me and said, "Well, Don, I'm sure there's room in the arms of Jesus for us both." And I was just thinking about, I'm sure there's room in the arms of Jesus for us both.
Does that mean we're going to end with a group hug?
No, not until this virus thing is over.
Oh, that's true. Hey, this is Jim and Don. Worship in the Gap. We'll catch you soon.